We're at Airlie Gardens in Wilmington, North Carolina, and inside all kinds of beautiful gardens, including 2 pollinator gardens. What is that? Coming up next. Hi, I'm Brenda, and welcome to Act 2 Stories, where we give you all kinds of ideas to try something new, especially if you're 50 plus. A big thank you to Janice for inspiring us to do this story. So let's try something new and plant a pollinator garden.
Pollinator gardens are generally native plants that support native pollinators or native insects.
Some examples of pollinators would be our bees and butterflies. Those are kind of our most notable ones. Hummingbirds are pollinators, and then some that people don't think about as often would be like flies, beetles, wasps.
Moths.
Moths, yeah, some of our moths too.
Alyssa Taylor and Sarah Ducharme are environmental educators at Airlie Gardens, where there are 2 pollinator gardens. The one they're weeding was planted 6 years ago and is near the entrance. The other is deep into the property, past the Spanish moss-draped trees and calming Airlie Lake, in an area that visitors might not see.
We had lost some trees back there from Hurricane Florence, so it's a big, just clear, open, really sunny spot.
Sarah and Alyssa planted it about a year ago, and it's filled with native plants and shrubs, food for pollinators like bees who, by some estimates, pollinate 1/3 of the world's crops.
Over the last 100 years, the United States has gone through major development, major privatization of land, and so we're really starting to notice the ecological impacts of that now. So unfortunately, a lot of species have been affected, by habitat loss and development.
Just understanding that one oak tree can support over 600 different insects.
Bees in particular are missing a lot of their native landscapes.
And if pollinators are threatened, our food supply is threatened too.
A lot of our berries, a lot of, chocolate, agave.
We're certainly hearing more about the importance of pollinator gardens. Here's one at the Arboretum in Wilmington. Individual gardeners are going native too. Jennifer Tobish sent us pictures of the native plants she's planted in her yard. So about a week ago, I took the plunge. This is a little area I picked out for my pollinator garden. I've got 3 native plants in here right now. Coneflower there, brown-eyed Susan here, and red yarrow, and I picked up bee balm. Actually, I found it at a local nursery this weekend. I've been watering it every day. Fingers crossed. I'll keep you posted, but because I am not an expert gardener at all. So what do you need to know about planting your pollinator garden? First, decide where to put it.
One, you need to assess your space. Do you have sun? Do you have shade?
Second, take a look at your soil. Is it sandy, moist, what?
What kind of soil you have, which really goes along with, where you're living.
As to the size of your garden,
I would always recommend starting small. If you are living in a more urban landscape, you don't even have a backyard, think about just throwing a container garden out.
when should you plant?
Spring or fall.
And how long before you see results?
It just takes some time for these things to really establish themselves. So, for us, we say we just planted one in the back space, and we're like, well, it's going to look good, but, for it to look really good, it's probably going to be like 3 years, right?
Perhaps the biggest challenge may be finding native plants for the pollinators.
The best habitat for them is going to be a native plant that was here and developed and grew with those native insects. So it provides them with all the things that they need. So you can include ornamental plants in your landscape, but the best thing to do is definitely incorporate at least 60% native plants. One, they're already adapted to our environments, and 2, they are the best thing to support our native wildlife, whether it's insects or up the whole food chain.
And the types of native plants may vary depending on where you live. Some resource suggestions on our website, actTWOstories.com. So try something new. Plant a pollinator garden. You can go to our website, actTWOstories.com, for some helpful links and suggestions. And in the meantime, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Act 2 Stories.